in time, in creation, in the history of man, when a pyramid that wasn't a pyramid, it was just a big piece of ice that fell from the sky and hit one of the islands that are right now here. Right now here on this earth, there's an island that fell from the sky, and it fell onto something else. In order to make something, you have to know of something. So the Titanic was the ice coming from above, maybe splitting the island like New Brunswick, off New Brunswick or Newfoundland or something. Something was split from the sky. There's been no man on the moon, because Michael Jackson did the moonwalk backwards. Moon is 57. 7 minus 5 is minus 2. Only Beta was on the moon. Nobody else. Michael did the moonwalk, he went backwards. His number is 28. The moon is 57. The total is 85. Silver equals 85. Matrix equals 85. To a 10-10 world, it's 25. X and O. 9 times 25 fills out to bicentennial plus 25 because it's the center. No one has ever walked on the moon, and if they did, then those who know are the evil ones, and they're keeping a secret. Because no one ever walked on the moon. I know the numbers. I don't need to know anything else. I just have to hear Explorer. It crashed. I had Explorer in my computer, and it crashed. God sends messages, and everybody is different, so they get different messages. We each search on a different vine. Now I have opera. Opera is a circle. You jump through the hoop, you go to the other side. You were on one side, now you're on the other side. And now my opera went down. Now I'm on Firefox. Fox equals 45, it's the foxhole. The orange sun, the orange fox of God. He takes up 3/4 of the world, the fox shows, because he lets man walk out and create on his own. 666 or 9, 12 plus 3 is the egg. The 3 is man creating on his own. The egg is 15, 1 and 5 is 6, 6 and 3 is 9. Man has made something, the color of purple, the red spirit. What the African king brought to Pharaoh, why the hell was he there? In the middle of Moses, they're showing you someone selling wardrobe. Hello, Jews? Yeah, we're back in the wardrobe industry from the Africans. We learned it all. We came in on their boat, like Avatar. Moving escalators from one side to the other. You get on one, you go up, and you get up in the middle, you get to one island, and the other has a little arm that bends over. There's a big arm that moves, and then there's a little arm, and they're all X's. X can fit anywhere. X is perfect, and so is O. Because X goes through O, he jumps through the hoop. Jamaica, smoking weed, what do you think? The dreads on their hair? They used that to tie the islands. They tied their own islands. That's why they had the weed on Jamaica, because they used their dreadlock, they used the hemp to tie up the earth. And the governments know this. Not all the governments, but the good men in the governments know what happened, because we have to be guided. If we weren't guided in the right way to start in liberty, we would never learn the understanding of the truth of the transformation from the eastern towns out in Israel and all that, and coming out here. Not only that, they didn't know that it was grass to smoke and get high, but what happened while they were attaching the dreadlocks, the extra strands, they had to burn them off, like plastic, so it ties together and it locks. Every time they burnt it off next to their face with the stone, they were rubbing the stone, it kept going in their nose, and they kept getting buzzed. And they saw that that was good. They saw it was a light that went up to God, to the Spirit, to connect to the higher Spirit. It opened the door. And God was pleased, because in creation, God has to find. He doesn't finish creation until he's done, until he has found everything that makes it work. So they started smoking the weed. And they saw it was the communication of the moon. The same way the woman can get to the moon with her child inside of her, you're getting there now with your brain up here. The water, the energy, the cooler that's in here. The water cooler, it's right here for your blood. It talks to your heart. Your heart decodes it. It goes to your brain, it decodes it again, and now I speak. Well, where do these words come from? I got no letters in my mouth. I just got a tongue that waggles, just like a snake. What am I going to say next? I'm the biggest snake of all. When you have the information connect to mainframe, then you're the biggest snake. But I'm a snake that doesn't bite. I'm the snake that warms you up at night. I'm the snake that makes you bright. I'm the snake that brings the light. To end the battle and all the fights, because at this end, after the night is over, the seventh day will come, when the Christ will rise. We will all be surprised and not take it serious. Hey Maggie, did you see what happened? Yeah, some guy's pretending to be Christ, you know. I'm not talking about me. I'm just a transporter of the knowledge of the energy that comes from somewhere else, off my tongue. Am I telling you the true story? Am I a snake? Marijuana should be legal, and everybody knows that. If I'm stoned, I don't drive. I couldn't drive. Who would want to drive? I'm having too much fun. Or I'm tired. One of the two. You're having fun, you don't want to leave. You only go when the buzz is low, and the buzz is good because it makes you know. Not only that, hemp grew faster than trees. And they saw this, so they knew they can use it. The more they used it, the more they got buzzed, the more communication they had with God. And they saw that they have to follow the cycle of the moon. There are 4 7 days in a week, but there's a Wednesday in every week, making the week end, the beginning of the week, the end of the week, and the Wednesday 1, 2, 3 ways to connect during 1 week. Not only that, you came from yesterday to today is 1 day, so now we got 4. You were at yesterday and you came to the day before, which is still connected, is 5, but we won't count that. We'll go forward to the 4th day, before and after. We have 7 days. 3 days before and after Wednesday is 5 days. Before and after Sunday is 7 days. You double up on Saturday and Sunday, but you end up getting Friday and Monday. Monday is the funny day, the demon day, because Tuesday someone was been chosen. Everybody tried to play a part in the masquerade ball on Monday. The demons all came in, I want to take the part, but it was only on Tuesday that someone was chosen. Wednesday is the 4th day. 4 Omega is 60. 60 plus 4 is Mars and Mercury, which is our brain, and now we came to the lands, to the rain. The Jamaicans and the Russians also, because when God drew the pole line, the energy, the first energy down, he pulled it through the North Pole, he cut it off in the South Pole, and he ran it back up to the top like elephant ears. And at the same time, as the islands were still split, and there was no under and the world was flat, he put spirit through there and wind it. Then he moved in the second part of the world. A pyramid on top and a pyramid on the bottom, with handles in between, spaces to support the two so the oceans don't rock when the oceans come in from the sky. Coming in as pyramids from the sky because the skies above are frozen. You can't go to Mars. You can go to Mars in our space, but you have to know Mars is a thinking tank. Is it a positive and negative to Saturn? Saturn thinks one way, connects to number 1. Mars connects to number 9 and to number 3. Saturn connects to 1 and number 7. Number 1 is the spirit. 7 is the God of all the dots of 6. All the dots of 6 plus the 1 spirit or the God is 7. And each world is 21. In 2 worlds it's 14 because there's only 2 worlds. But 28 is the moon. So now we have to separate everything by 2 weeks. So there's 26 weeks in the year. I'm always going to go around 6/22/6 because we were built on numbers. Where does this go? Oh, I don't know. Look in the instructions. What do you think? He looked in the instructions? When God made everything, he made the whole plan. He didn't make half and go by ear. The guy doesn't come in to build a house and stop and tell 20 of his employees, hey, take a break, smoke a joint, have a beer. I'm not sure yet. No, he gets in there with the plans. He sets it all out. He makes a small house, and he sees if it works. So he sees that there's going to be a little bit of change here, here, and here. He says, no problem. We'll do A, B, and C. We'll overlap and reconnect. We'll pass the oceans through the center of the earth with the salt, because the salt is needed to bring to the main box in the core, the center of the earth, that connects back up to the moon. And then it passes through to the other side of the world, right through the center of the earth. You don't see it, between the Baltic and the Mediterranean. Now there's an under and an over to the earth. Now we have springs of water, gushers shooting up from under the ground, under the ocean. We have volcanoes from under the ground because of the water that is passing to cool the capacitors. So we get volcanoes. And don't forget, this is a matrix system. If you're mad and you're bad, that energy goes to the moon and it throws it out to rebalance the totality. And then if we're bad, at one point, it just tips over like the bucket, and the water empties out on us, and the winds come, and that's what brings the temperature on Earth, is the temperament of man. The Pharaoh, these are the elevators when they go walk like an Egyptian, and the snake talk like an Egyptian, talk all wrong, tongue twisted and upside down. The purification of water that passes through the earth is Pharaoh has a beard, and he has a stick that's golden blue, and it's got a hook at the top. On the other side, he's got little arms with a handle. If you notice, that handle is one color, because the water is passed from one end to the other end. It passed under his chin. One side is man's brain on this side, the other is man's brain on this side, for whatever his thoughts were. So it passes through his chin, it goes to the other side, and it goes out water that's been purified, that is the truth of man's speech. That is what the Pharaoh stuff. If you want to know anything about the Pharaoh stuff, the Mayan stuff, right now, I know nothing. But once I get into it, I start looking and learning. But when it's at the beginning, everybody says it's only hypothesis. Well, then let's take it as a hypothesis. Only a thought, because it's only a thought I got. I tried as hard as I could. I could never reach 10. So I figured out if I did reach 10, because I looked forward when I got to 9 and saw there was a brick wall. So I stopped at 9 at the light, and I turned right to go home. My home is 5. Everybody's home is 5, because it's all 5. It's their own home. It has the spirit of who's inside. So then the home is 4, then there's nobody home. So the home is 5. And if it's 5 and 6, there's a family. Because in order to get 6, you need to take it from 5. You put 5, you turn 5, it makes 8. Take the 5 dice and the 5 dice you put on top of each other and you turn it. And now you got more corners, and now it totals 8. 8 is the heaven because you put 2 worlds together. It's all in the cards. It's all in the cards. It's all in the dice. You see one egg, one eye. I could put another eye here. The second one is a strike ball and pull. And then the other eye. The first 7, the last 7. Here's the 8 ball. 7, 8, and 7. 16. But this one, is it the 1? If this is the 7, this is the 15, it equals 22 for life. If this is the 1, and this is the 15, it equals the 16. The 1 spirit is 6, their highest dice and the lowest dice in 1. If this is 7, and this is 7, this one would be the 15 ball. The letter O. The 7th letter is G. G, O. And this one, 15 and 7 equals 22. That's 2 and 2. Mars and Saturn. Life between 2. The letter for life between 2 is A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D equals 10. The letter D. The 7 ball, the 15 ball, and between 1 and 7 is the D creation. You have G, O, D. God. 9 card, 4 on one side, 4 on the other, 1 in the center. 1 in the center is 1 world, you say 1. 4 and 4 on the sides is 8, creates the letter R. The letter R has a sound of A, so you have 18 and 1 is 19. In blackjack, you add the 1 because you have the spirit, you go to 20. Now you're in the 2 worlds. Let's start over again. Raphael, 7286. Look at my other stuff. Go to Facebook, look at some of my stuff. If you think there's anything in there you can share, share. This is the time to share. Imagine this, in the time of Christ, if he had a castle with guards, he wouldn't have gotten killed. And he needed to share the word, but he had no computers. And there were those who thought he was crazy and embarrassed, so they ran away. And then after that, they saw it was true. And now they're all crying because they couldn't decide, because they all decided on what they thought in their own mind, other than reading the work of somebody else to understand the other side of their story. You can't do it on your own. Nobody could. You need to balance. Mars is that balance. There is no one on Mars, and no one ever walked on the moon. The moon is number 57. The 28 of Michael Jackson's moonwalk is 85. Michael Jackson, being a person, man 6, is 91. 91. 9 times 9 is 81, plus the J God is 91. Add up A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 equals 45. 10, 55, 11, 66. And that's the Jack, and that's where Jack is. The Queen is 12, that's 78. G and H, 8, heaven, making 15 Omega, her egg. Then we have the 13 card, the King, after the Queen. 78 and 13, 91. 91st day of the year, 3 out of 4 years, April 1st. 13 by 7, 91. The seasons of the year, baseball and hockey, football and soccer. All the games, they all have numbers, they all tell a story. I'm the reader. I know the numbers, I tell the story. It's only the story part that you have to really figure out whether it's true or not. But the numbers, they don't lie. They're just numbers. That's all. Laying around between each other, on top of each other, creating things to happen. But if we didn't have the number, then who would you call? I'm the Ghostbuster, and I break clues. And this is the end of times for everything, and I'm here. And if I can help, then let me in. And if you let me in, send me out to others. Let the dove of Noah fly now, so that we can save. Instead of Noah coming into a new world, we are coming into a new world, and we need to send the word of the dove, the word of love, throughout the land. All the way out to Africa, we brought the first Jews to Pharaoh to help them out as they lost their island in the sky. Islands in the sky. It was hit from above. They were all protected, but it was hit from above. They're also a new race. It's a mixed race over time, because God had to erase the things that didn't work well in spirit to come up with something a little bit better. This is the game. It's called the juice. We all have a wish, and it ends up to be Jewish. And he who brews the magic potion is called a Hebrew of the magic wand. It's not because they're Jewish, it's because how they came to be. From I am of who he is number 5, the month of May in French. Backwards is I am, and it says I am. Everything reverts back to the beginning of time. It's not just like that. I'm not just a Jew like that. It comes that way. But it's not only me, because the point of the diamond head is all Egypt. Egypt knows the diamond core. The point of the diamond, they know, it's in their name. They know the past, they know the egg, they wear the equipment, they do the dance, they wear the plates, and they show how the water passes through the earth and is purified. And you say, if nothing comes from nothing, Egypt came from the Word of God. Just like Israel came from the Word of God, as Jewish and Hebrew came from the Word of God. Everybody's Hebrew. Because Hebrew is a magic potion to make who you are, so you can exist. Whatever you end up with is the point of the matter. English, enlightenment, English, enlight English, enlight 10, to light 10, enlight, or to say the 8 lights of 10. The 8 lights, the 8 candles on Hanukkah. Is it 7 or 8? I don't know everything, but when I see the information and I coordinate my numbers, I know it right away, because I just go number to number and I follow the string. Merry Christmas time has come. Rosh Hashanah is past in Yom Kippur, the new year for the Jews, 5773. 5 and 7, 7 is the top of the dice, 5 is all around on the sides as they doubled up. The 7 is the 7 and 7 islands of what 6 and 1 and 6 and 1 of spirit connected. And the 3 is creation. 37 reversed is 70, 37 reversed is 74. And that's the number of Mars and Uranus, the number of the connecting Christ in the 7 for this world. The one is the Spirit of God above, the other is the Son, who is at the 7th gate. Jesus welcomes every single birth and every single death that leaves this world by being at the 7th gate. Because as being at the 7th gate, he can look up to 1 and have 4 beside him. He can look cross-corner over to 3 creation, and then he can look across between the heavens to see the 9 birth. And what I told you is the face of the phone. I told you, the numbers come from games. I know nothing. I just put them together. My word might be wrong, but my numbers are right. My definitions might be wrong, but the story sounds good, and the numbers fit to the words I choose. Now it's for you to choose and to pass on and to move on. This is a viral video. Out of Africa, the circle of life is the opera of man, coming out of Africa, sailing on the boats, coming up to Pharaoh, and asking Pharaoh to help my people out. They have no place to live. They'll work for you. They'll work hard. They're strong. You can teach them. But they were only supposed to stay for a period of time of 19 by 19 moons, 360 less 1 year to leave. But they never left. And the 40 years is now the game. The game starts when Moses leaves. The Monopoly game opens, and they're on go. So if you want to know where Moses came or the Monopoly game was before anything started, they were with Pharaoh. They were with the Africans. But that's the minus world. This is the plus. So they went from Pharaoh, and go started. If you go the first moon, 19, you end up on New York. If you go the second moon, another 19 is 38, S&S. 38 is Park Place, P&P, the 1616. 2 dice flipped over, one is 6 up, the other is 1 up, one is 6 down, the other is 1 down. 77 of Christ. Follow the numbers. I know it's not hard. But just pass this on, because maybe there's going to be somebody out there. There's a lot of scientists out there. There's a lot of people in a lot of worlds out there that know a lot of different things. Just let it go. Send it out and don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. We didn't come into this world embarrassed. We only do the things we should do right. And don't be wrong about the things you do if you're unsure, because you know there's nothing wrong with what I have said up to now. Thus, and we will leave it at this, thanking to Haiti, who was here as 8 at the beginning, to Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Asia, Australia, who was in between the 2 sides trying to figure out the strings, how to connect them underneath the water. But there was no water at that time. The water was very low. They only needed a little water to cover the earth to bring the spirit element, the stick of life, the water, the ground. From the sky to the ground, to the sky to the ground. We are enlightened. We are the golden age, Aquarius, in between 2 cycles, because in one cycle the hole is big, and if you throw something this big through this hole, it'll get stuck. So you throw it on an angle. When you throw it on an angle, it goes all the way through. So therefore, nothing happens, really and truthfully, until the moon is at half. When it's a full moon, something is thrown in here and it bounces. But when it slides on in and gets into the water and slows down into the air, it just comes into your mind, and sometimes you just don't see it. Raphael 72, 86, the time of man. 6 verses 6. Freedom has a count of 66. The 55 of liberty and 66 of the count is 121. 11 times 11, 121, May 1st, April 30th. Connecting a month, April, A, and the M month, May. You have A-M-A-I, Amay, amazing. There's more to it. M and A is mother. A and M is all men. A is 1, M is the 13th letter. A to M are the 13 cards in the deck of the 4 suits of life. So it's enough is enough. Raphael, 7286. Put this out if it's long. Most of my videos have not been watched. We are coming to a crucial point. We are coming to the point of this. This is how the earth was made, one piece at a time. You see the Christ inside there, the clock of time? It's right there. It's the Holy Ghost. Everything else is black. You don't even see it. You don't even see it. It's inside the cube, and God made white. And God showed you there's 9 whites, 9 blues, 9 reds, 9 orange, and 9 green. And 9 yellow. If you play with Rubik's Cube, you will see the design of creation. Because our games are the designs of creation. Don't deny it. You can't deny it. Oh, Mommy, I want this. Of course you want it. Why the hell you want it? You never saw it before. Oh, yeah, Mommy, I did. Well, there you go. She saw it before. Everything was seen before. A, E, I, O, and U. A and E, 1 and 5. 1 and 5 is O. A, E, and I equals 15. The O is 15. A and E equals 6. 15 plus 6 is 21. And the 21st letter is U. I'm not going to use I because I already used it the first time. I need the furthest and the closest. And all 3 of them. Now if I go A and I get 10. 1 omega, 15. I'm back to A and E. And that's God, coming back to the start. Now that I have 21, I add back the 15 from behind me on the O because it's on the other side of the board. It becomes 36. 3 6s, 36 creation, 1963. 19 cycle of the moon of the 36 parts of creation. And it's doubled up. 18, 18, 18, 18, 72. 4 and 4, 8 in one world, 4 and 4, 8 of the other world because they're connected together. Of the 3 and 3 man, which creates the 6 because there's only one man. 7, 2, 8, 6. The number of Mr. Tackman, this number over here. You see that wall? That's what it's all about, my friends. I knew nothing of what I'm talking about today. I knew nothing when I made that shirt. Only had a revelation in my mind. Then there's the pictures behind me. See those 2 pictures? There's a small man in there that you don't see. This is the world before, the African jungle. There's the African king. I don't know if you can see him. He's got 1 eye. There's birds and moons, and I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I found it. But regardless to the fact, again, we're going to try this one more time. Thank you for listening. Raphael, 7286. Thank you. And it didn't stop. 7286 reaches none of it. Okay? It goes out to the North Pole. None of it, the North Pole. It's a coordinate of Pegasus the horse in space, 7286. 7 and 2 is 9. 8 and 6 is 14. 14 and 9, 23. Creation, 2 and 3 is 5. The creation of 5. I can tell you how 5 came to be, but I only wanted to make a 10-minute video. And it's always like this. Once I start, it just doesn't stop. Because I don't want it to stop. Once I get the weed going, the mind switches over. Smoke. Moves a little bit over. Smoke. Okay, now this door on the bottom moved one way. The door on the top moved the other way. Now I've got a full circulation of water. The number 5 gives you a full circulation of water. One part round on the bottom, the other part square. It's actually, it turns in, because as the water runs, the corner of the 5 breaks off and it becomes round on the outside. And you're running the water through your head, through your eyes, through your mouth, and through your eyes again, and then back through your head. and this is the way it works. It's a cooling system. This is the division, the two sides of your thoughts. The marijuana is a big secret. What do you think it's so legal for? And cocaine is the same thing. They worked on cocaine. The brain can use cocaine. It's okay. The doctors give it. If you take cocaine properly, if we put it in our foods, it would be okay. Do you know why? Coca-Cola used to put cocaine. They've got the dot of cocaine and the sign of God on their thing. And even if they never put cocaine, there is cocaine. It's a mention of cocaine. And cocaine may not have to be the drug, but at this time I am saying it is the drug. Cocaine, the coconut. The coconut milk. Because it grows in a certain area, it gains the knowledge of that area. If a seed grows and it has life and it's breathing, it has to spread. And we breathe that in and we learn from the fruit. Pretty weird, eh? Raphael 70-86. Ask and let this go viral. Let it go viral, not because I'm going to get a lot of views. I don't care about the money. I'd love to have all the money. And if I had all the money, I know someone's watching me. Then I don't need any of the money. Because once they're watching me and hear the word, life's going to be a whole lot cheaper and cost a whole lot less. Because I won't need to go out and occupy myself with other things. I'll just tell the stories. I just want to tell the stories. That's all I want to do. Write a book and tell a story. That's how it all began. Thinking about something, of all the mysteries in life, until finally I understood that it's the numbers, the shapes, and the dots of Morse code. Morse, the cat scratch fever. Maurice Richard. Check out his number. Check out the number in sports. Sports is another thing of creation. Everything is another thing of creation. Everything has a number. And then in each one, there's a set, 1 to 6, and then the opposites of 1 to 6. 6 opposite of 1, 6 is also paired to 8. 5 and 9 belong together. 7 belongs to 1 and 2, because it makes 10. 1, 2, and 7 is ADJ. A bag. 1, 2, and 7 is God 1 into the center space of the world as the element that runs through the earth and the plants and the trees and the moon and gives you the 2 spirit. That's 3. 1, 2, 7. A, B, ab, G. Gab means to talk. Or B-A-G, bag. We're all old bags, put in a bag. Coming here to breathe the air. So at the end, we rust out and conk out. And sometimes we conk out in the middle of the road. They try to pick us up and bring us to the hospital. But you know what? There's no more gas in the tank. No matter what they do, they don't sell gas at the hospital. So man's dead. So all you need is a little bit of water and start thinking if you want to revive the mind. Because when you revive the mind, you have lifted yourself to the mind of who I am. Raphael 72-86. I thank you.